gets harder and harder, and no matter how many times you do it or how used to you leaving you think they are, it's not, it's hard.
I'd been chasing something for 10 years.
You definitely have different priorities in your life.
I'm walking out the door, about to cry, and I just can't handle this.
Why did Natalie Portman understand Chris's pain like no other?
I was 13 years old, and I can still quote what the New York Times said about me.
Someone said, we're giving up, we're just gonna choose you.
Being struck by Natalie Portman.
Natalie is beautiful and talented, all of the above.
Working up to doing that with such a large man.
His bicep is like the size of my body.
And how did Thor almost destroy his family?
It got more and more chaotic. My daughter looks at me and she's like, but you just got back. You don't want to drop the ball.
There's been 10 years of my life. It was a real sort of strange moment of like, oh, wow, what now?
When Chris and his wife Elsa moved from Australia to America, he had one goal in mind.
I wanted to make movies, I wanted to be part of things that inspired me.
But his insecurity held him back the most.
Then there was the other side, which was like, you're never going to do it. You'll never make it. It's impossible.
No matter how hard Chris worked, he felt like a failure.
It was hundreds of auditions and no. And started thinking, what am I doing? I'm going to go back home.
Just when Chris was ready to give up, he got the chance of a lifetime. But he had unlikely competition.
My first audition, I blew it. My little brother got a call back and he got down to the last 4 or 5 people, and then he didn't get it, and then I got another shot. And that second audition was a lot different than my first one. I came in kind of with a little motivation and maybe frustration that my little brother had gotten further than me. Someone said, we're giving up, we're just going to choose you.
And after landing Thor, Chris knew his life was about to change, but his insecurity continued to haunt him.
You don't want to drop the ball. There's that sort of pressure, I guess, and an expectation.
When Chris met his co-star, Natalie Portman, he finally felt like someone understood his
I was
pain.
very concerned with being taken seriously. I couldn't shake my self-doubt.
Natalie had been working since childhood and was all too familiar with the pressure to succeed.
I was 13 years old, and I can still quote what the New York Times said about me. Ms. Portman poses better than she acts. I'm still insecure about my own worthiness.
Chris and Natalie connected immediately and formed a fast friendship.
He really has worked hard to create this character, and he's really, really talented. He's amazing, and it's really fun to watch him work, especially knowing this is sort of one of his first big things.
Working with her was a dream.
Desperate to prove himself, Chris poured everything into his work. Meanwhile, Natalie had a new priority in her life.
You're having a little baby.
I'm so excited about what's happening in my private life, and everything else seems like extra additional joy.
Doing what was best for her family, Natalie became more selective with her work.
Like everyone who becomes a parent, you definitely have different priorities in your life, but it also gives you a different kind of energy when you go to work, and it's very lucky to get to do both.
But when Chris started a family of his own, he struggled to find that same balance.
And once we had kids, it got more and more chaotic. So easy to kind of blur the line between the business and home and personal life and work.
As Chris watched his wife put aside her own career for the sake of their children, he only felt more pressure to succeed for his family.
One of my boys thinks I'm a hero and says, did you fight the monsters at work today? And thinks that's what I do from 9 to 5.
Fear of failure drove Chris to work nonstop. His daughter begged him to not go.
As I'm walking out the door, the kids start to get sad and they're about to cry, and I'm like, what do you want? Anything you want, because I just can't handle the tears.
Soon, Chris found himself missing precious moments of their childhood.
And my daughter looks at me and she's like, but you just got back, and no matter how many times you do it or how used to you leaving you think they are, it's not, it's hard.
When Chris reunited with Natalie on set, she was no longer the insecure girl he once knew.
I have to remind myself today, you are here for a reason. I love what I do. That was not only an acceptable reason, it was the best reason.
She became a strong, hardworking mother with nothing to
My
prove.
family was very separate from film world and not involved in the business side of things for me at all.
The true core of my meaning I had already established, and I needed it to be independent of people's reactions to me. The only thing you can be the best at is developing your own self.
It was then Chris realized he had let fear and insecurity control his life.
That was the danger, when I put too much emphasis on it working or this being a success or getting that part.
It was a real sort of strange moment of like, oh, wow, what now? And I just realized that I'd been chasing something for 10 years, and I thought, man, if I don't stop and just appreciate this moment, I'll continue to chase and look there, not right here, for the rest of my life.
Inspired by Natalie, Chris made changes in his own life to better support his family.
Getting more and more choosy and picky with the kind of work I'm doing, and that my wife and I, we have to think about where do the kids go to school and how does that work.
With new confidence, Chris challenged himself in his career, while he and Natalie remain as close as ever.
Natalie is beautiful and talented and all of the above.
He's just got the best energy and is just so enthusiastic about the work and so sweet to work with.
There's definitely a lot of laughing, maybe too much laughing.
Okay. But today, his most cherished role is being a loving father to his 3 kids.
I just sort of enjoying being home as much as possible at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, his superpower is parenting.
The journey to success means nothing if you don't take time to enjoy the ride. But what truly makes the journey worthwhile is having your loved ones by your
The
side.
most fulfilling things I've experienced have truly been the human interactions.
My dream would be for them to talk about me as a parent one day and go, he was always there, he played with us, he was present, he listened, he paid attention.
You've got to enjoy the process. If you focus too much on sort of what's the result of it all, you're not right in the middle of it, but in the moment of it all.
Grab the good people around you, don't let them go.